Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game, and it's back to the London Stadium after a disappointing defeat at Old Trafford as West Ham United entertain Arsenal at 5:30 on Saturday. We're here to do our preview in association with our sponsor, Royal London Watch. It's Christmas just round the corner. Get your watch for your loved one if they support West Ham, and if they don't, buy a watch for yourself, wrap it up and pretend it's from your loved one. Sorted. Everyone wins. Gonzo, our opponents, Arsenal, the Gunners. What's your thoughts on them?
They also had a bad result, of course, in the cup. They lost 2-0 to Southampton. I think did it finish 2-0? It certainly was on the updates. So, in many respects, I think that is the worst possible result for us because they are going to be motivated. I didn't see what team he put out because, obviously, like Tom, I was up in Manchester and we were concentrating on the matters at hand, watching ourselves get thrashed. But they're obviously a very, very good team. I think they've sorted out a lot of the issues. Last season, they brought the centre-back in from Valencia. I believe it was. They got Xhaka. Yeah, they got Xhaka. Is that Frero Xhaka in the middle, who looks a very, very good player as well. They just seem to have sorted out a lot of their problem positions. And, of course, prior to that, their problem position was a goalkeeper. So they look really good and they're contenders for the title. And, yeah, it's a bad time to be playing them.
Yeah, Arsenal did rotate their squad midweek quite a lot. Unlike us and Man United, they did not take that seriously at all. Tom, is this their year for the title?
It's very hard to say because Chelsea obviously are doing very, very well. Man City, I still think it's out Chelsea and Man City myself, but they've got a good shot. Yeah, they've got a good crack of it. They've got a good team. Yeah, so yeah, it could be.
Are they impressing you this year, though, Tom? I mean, like Gonza said, they're in the past has been their keeper, their defence. You could say they've maybe been a bit soft-centred, if you like, in the middle of the park, but they seem to have. They've got Mustafi in at the centre back with Koscielny, a good centre back partnership as you'll get in Premier League. They've now got like Coquelin and Xhaka in midfield. Are you impressed by the way they're evolving?
Definitely, yeah. And since I think I've been unbeaten since the first game of the season as well, where they lost 4-3 against Liverpool, I believe. Yeah, so they're on fantastic form. I think they've drawn a lot of games lately, but no, it's going to be a very, very difficult game. Yeah, they're very to only lose the opening game of the season against Liverpool, Joe. Yeah, they're in good form, so it's going to be very difficult.
As Tom said, they've only lost one game this season, which was at the very start of the season, but they were missing a couple of players due to the year 2016, such as Koscielny. Away form is quite scary, actually. They are unbeaten in 11 Premier League away games, which goes all the way back to the 28th of February when they lost 3-2 at Old Trafford. And the defeat before that was actually in 2015. So they've only lost one away game in the league in 2016. So they're certainly coming in form. Gonzo, before we move on to our own side, who do you think is their danger man?
Sanchez. Clearly, he had a little dip last season, a little dip in form this season. He looks rejuvenated. And Ozil seems to be supplying the bullets for Sanchez to fire. So, yeah, we've got to go with Sanchez as the big danger man. Well, Walcott, sorry, and a message for Walcott, who's in goal-scoring form as well.
Arsenal this season have only been behind for 73 minutes in total in the league. That's the best in the league. So despite the fact they're fourth, they've actually been in a losing position for less minutes than Chelsea have. Tom, who's your danger man? Who are you worried about seeing?
I think Chris hit it on the head there. For them two you mentioned, Sanchez obviously sticks out for me. He's fantastic on his day, isn't he? He's well classed. Yeah, but Walcott though, I mean, we were thinking heavily of him in the summer, and he seems to have really sort of turned his game around this season. He's scoring. I mean, how many Walcott scored now? He's scored quite a few, hasn't he?
He's scored more than Zaza, Tom. He's scored more than Zaza, mate.
That's not hard, is it? I think. No, yeah. So yeah, I think Chris hit the nail on the head there with Sanchez and Walcott.
I have to agree. I would include Iwobi in that as well. When he plays on the left and they kind of stick Sanchez up front, Ozil in behind, and Walcott on the right, they come at you with pace and they come at you with creativity. And if we play a high line like we did at Old Trafford, we're going to struggle. But let's get on to our own team. Before we do that, the man in the middle at the London Stadium on Saturday night is Craig Pawson. We've had him twice this season already, actually, and both at home, so he will know all about the London Stadium. We beat Chelsea 2-1 in the Cup, and we beat Bournemouth 1-0 in the opener at the London Stadium. We had him twice last season. We drew both games, 2-2 against Man City, and this fixture last season was refereed by him when we drew 3-3 with Arsenal. Arsenal, if you're an Arsenal fan, you may remember him from Turf Moor when you won 1-0 at Burnley. It's the only time you've had him this season. Last season, you had him 4 times. You lost 1, won 1, and drew 2. Now, let's move on to our own team. But before you would do that, I'll throw a stat at you to back up Gonzo's claim about Walcott. He's scored 5 goals against us. We are his favourite opponent in the Premier League. He's not scored as much goals against anyone else than West Ham United. Hello, Theo Walcott on Saturday night for scoring. Giroud is the best sub in the Premier League this season. He's come off the bench and he's scored 3 times and set up 1 goal while coming off the bench. So we all know what's going to happen. Walcott's going to score. It's going to be a draw. He's going to go off. Giroud's going to come on and he's going to score. Is that how he's going to pan out? That's where we're to discuss. Tom, are we changing formation? Do you hope to see a formation change?
Well, I think Cresswell might be a little bit injured, mightn't he? I've heard a rumour that he's picked up a little knack. So if Cresswell's injured, we've got Masuaku. No, we've got to stick with the 3. It's difficult, isn't it? 4-4-2 or 3. No, I think we've got to stay with the same, to be honest, Gio. Yeah, I'll stay with the 3 at the back in the middle and then 2 wing backs.
Would you keep Antonio right wing back, Tom?
But yeah, again, I think he might have a little injury, picked up a little injury from yesterday as well. So if not, I'll maybe look at slotting Fernandez in there myself. But yeah, you'd have to keep him as right wing back, yeah.
And who would you play as your 2 centre midfielders? Don't tell me your attacking options. I don't want to know your attacking trio. But your 2 centre midfielders, would Obiang be one? And if he is, who's partnering?
It had to be Obiang. I only want 1 defensive in the middle, to be honest, Gio. I want 2 attacking and 1 defensive. So for me, it's Obiang. He's done nothing wrong to be dropped.
Yeah, but you still have 2 attacking midfielders. You will have Obiang plus a other, and you tend to have 2 attacking midfielders anyway, so you can still have 2 attacking midfielders.
Yeah, well, for me, Payet and Lanzini need to be in the middle. I've fed up with putting Payet on the wing because he doesn't cover the fullback at all. So yeah, we need Payet's more effective in the middle. So we need to put Payet and Lanzini in the middle for me personally.
And what about yourself, Gonzo? Will you stick with a 3 at the back, or will you convert it back to a 4?
Oh, I don't know. It's very hard. We sit here and do these videos. I've been trying to, we always try and be analytical. But I'm gutted. I'm gutted. It was yesterday. It was last night. I got back from Manchester today, and there was nothing to look at that formation. I just don't even think it's working. And it's not like we've got what it did. The formation stopped at a rot for a little bit, but it's not like we've gone on some long, mazy winning streak with this formation. I don't think it's working. Antonio, whatever you want to call it, right wing back, it's just not working there defensively. Again, they went at us down that side. So whether he plays as a right wing back or a right back, they attack down that section. And I just think I don't know if it's a formation. I don't know if it's personnel. Tom mentioned Payet there. I don't think Payet's problem was tracking back. Yeah, he just kept on giving the ball away. I mean, just time and time and time again. It was his. Spoke to my old man about it. My old man said it was possibly his worst performance in the West Ham shirt, and I'd have to agree. So rather than the formation, I'm worried about the players and the sum of their parts. But it certainly has to find a formation to get something out of those guys. Maybe you play Ogbonna, maybe you play Reed, and then maybe play Kiete at right back or something like that, and Masuaku at left back. Something different. But I don't want. We didn't buy a right back in the summer. There's square pegs in round holes, and I want us to. I need someone solid at right back. We really do.
I would convert back to 4-2. I would actually go 4-3-2-1 for this one, if you like. And before you say who you play right back, simple. I would simply, if I was Bilic, I would literally just ask the team who wants to play right back. If you don't put your hand up, you don't play at all. But if Antonio and whoever does put your hand up, then you actually play right back. You don't abandon your position. You don't abandon your post. You actually play right back. I would like to know if Bilic asked that question, how many of the players actually go Mayslav. I would like to play there. I would put money on it. Fernandez would stick his hand up. Martin Noble would probably stick his hand up and go, you know what, I'll play there. If it gets me in the team, I'll play there. I would be very surprised if Antonio stuck his hand up. And if he did, he then needs to change his attitude when he is a right back and needs to remember his defensive position. But I think the reason I would convert to a 4 is that I think we need that extra body in centre midfield against Arsenal. Otherwise, we're just going to get overrun. We're getting overrun too many times in that centre midfield department. Now, it happened at Old Trafford. Fernandez and Obiang. I kept forgetting Fernandez was on the pitch, but I thought Obiang was one of the better performers. But they were overrun. They had just far too much to do. You're killing them. It's almost like suicide. And I think if you put them up against Arsenal, a passing team, crikey, I think it could be a horrible watch for that centre midfield area. They're going to be chasing shadows. And I think I would like to see Obiang in there in front of the defence, and in front of him, Noble and Lanzini. Just give the ball to Lanzini. Let him travel with it. Let him release Payet, whoever's up there with Payet. And also, I think that could allow Payet not to have to track back so much, that you've got 3 centre midfielders. One of them has to keep an eye on Payet's man. Luckily, it looks like it's going to be Jenkinson. Bellerin's injured, so that takes away a massive threat, in my opinion. Tom, what would you like to see up front? You're still missing a man, Tom, because you said you only wanted Obiang in middle, but you want Payet and Lanzini. You're still missing a midfielder, unless you're away to tell me you're playing almost a diamond and you'd like to see 2 strikers.
It's difficult. It's difficult, Gio, to be honest. Chris is right. I mean, I don't know what a formation is. I really don't. But the other midfielder would be Antonio, if he's fit. I just can't. It's just very, very difficult. And the one up top's not working. So maybe it's best to go 4-4-2. Just throw it out there, go 4-4-2, and put 2 up top and see what we do. Because we can't get no worse than we currently were last night, to be honest.
Is it bad, Tom, that it feels like you're picking Antonio through process of elimination, and you're actually thinking, I don't want to see you play, I don't want to see you play, I don't want to see you play, so I'm only left with Antonio? Is that basically how you're picking your team? It's certainly the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, the three players at the moment that are on form, Gio, for us, Obiang, Fernandes, and Antonio. They've been absolutely fantastic. So he's going to be above protecting the back 4. Obviously, Antonio and Fernandes in there. You've got to have Payet and Lanzini in there somehow. So you've got to, you know what I mean? It's very, very difficult. It's just tough. But for me, the 3 best players at the moment for us, so as I mentioned, are Fernandes, Antonio, and what was the other one? My mind's gone blank.
Obiang?
Obiang, sorry. Yeah, they've done nothing wrong to be dropped.
Well, I would disagree with Antonio. I think he's been quite poor. I know he's got on the score sheet a couple of games, but I think he's been... I don't know. I think
he's been. I mean, come on. I wouldn't have played him yesterday personally. He runs and runs and runs. He must be absolutely knackered. Maybe picking up a little injury might do him a favour. Give him the weekend off, or maybe if he's 50-50, you don't have to play him. You give him a rest. Antonio's work. He's been worked like a workhorse. He's playing unbelievably. Like, you know, running everywhere. It's just.
I disagree. I don't think he's been running as much as he had been last season. I think it's a different Antonio we're seeing this season. There was one point last night, he passed to Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He was about 10 yards away. Zlatan turned around our defence. He had about 3 Man U players alongside him, and Antonio just jogged back. He was the guy that gave the bloody ball away, and he just jogged back. But I don't want to get into too much into last night. We're all still angry about it. But Gonzo, the return of Andy Carroll. I can't wait to see Big Andy back. Are you looking forward to seeing him back, or are you worried?
You've got to remember, I've been on a train all day back from Manchester, so is that and I hasten to add, I paid for flaming Wi-Fi and it didn't work. So I've had my 4G wasn't working. I don't know anything. We've come back, we've jumped on, had a sneaky Nando's on the way back. Tell me about Andy Carroll, because if I don't know, other people won't know.
Well, I don't know. Apparently, to be fair to Bilic, he did hint that he wasn't going to play at Old Trafford, but he would be back for this weekend. And I think we're going to have to almost risk him, even if he is half fit. We've only got Fletcher. I expect Fletcher to start with Carroll coming off the bench. That's how we expect the game to pan out on Saturday. Right, but you're not looking forward to seeing him back, though. He is, in my opinion, our best striker.
He's our for me. He's our yes. I'm looking forward to. He's our second best striker, as you know. I think Sacco is, but he's injured as well. So Carroll comes back. We know from last season he can scare the Arsenal defence. He scored the hat trick. You were there. He almost gave you a cuddle when he scored, didn't he? Whatever happens, Zaza must never wear the West Ham shirt again. And I just listened to what Tom was speaking there, and you're asking about formations, and I stood next to Tom. And the trouble is, Tom sounds so frustrated, and I totally understand. Somebody said, "You're gonna have a rant. You're gonna have a rant on the preview." I haven't got the energy to have a rant after all that. It almost sucks the life out of you. And that point where Zaza kicked the ball, and it ended up further back. It didn't just go for a throw in. It ended up further back than his position up the pitch. We laughed. We did. We had to laugh. It was so bad. It was funny. He must never, ever, ever play for West Ham again. And all this talk about renegotiate the deal, so another £1 million so he can stay for a bit longer. No, we don't want him to stay for a bit longer. A little bit shorter would be nice, to be honest with you. So if Andy Carroll's fit, blinding, let's have Andy Carroll. But what is going on with Ayew? Again, I have been disconnected from the World Wide Web today. So what is going on with Ayew? Why can't he play up front? Do we know what's happened to him?
There's some rumours, it's just rumours, we don't know. There's some rumours that he's fell out with Bilic.
Oh, dude.
And apparently that's why Dimitri Payet's had the hump over the last night or so, because he's obviously chums with Andre Ayew. But that's just rumours. It's just fictional rumours for now. It could have something to it. Unfortunately, Bilic does have a track history at Arbeloa, but...
And Amal Furtado.
Well, he's had a few more, but Arbeloa is the most recent one. But I think sometimes it can be a case of 2 + 2 = 5. If Ayew's not in the squad, no one knows where Ayew is. He must have had a falling out with Bilic. It's almost like that's going to be the first rumour from now on, because of Bilic's past checker history with certain players at our club, like Song, Sacco. And you could even throw Brown and Oxford into that, because they've been venting their frustrations with Bilic before in the past. Tom, are you confident for this one?
No. I'm not confident at all, mate. Arsenal are in fantastic form. It's probably one of the worst teams we could probably face next. I mean, our 4 games were awful fixtures anyway. I mean, I don't want to be downbeat and negative, but yeah, we done well to get a point at Old Trafford in the league the weekend. But all that seems to be undone by the disastrous performance last night, to be honest with you. I'm not confident at all, no.
You're not downbeating negative, you're realistic, and that's how I like to say it. Gonzo, what about yourself? Are you slightly more optimistic?
No, I'm not, and I don't want that to be a reflection on my attitude, Tom's attitude, or your attitude. We'll all be down there for the Arsenal game. We'll all go into the stadium, we'll make merry before, we'll go in, we'll sing Bubbles loud, and we will cheer on the team. But I do, and we'll hope for the best, but really I do expect the worst. I think we could get mullered at the weekends, to be honest with you.
I think that's a possibility for any game, really. We've seen it when we went to the Hawthorns. We got thumped by them. I think there was a stat, I haven't not wrote it down. I think the last 8 games Arsenal played at our place, obviously at Upton Park, 7 games we've conceded 2 or more in. So we don't have a great track record against Arsenal. I think they're unbeaten in their last 8 visits to our place as well. So our track record isn't great. However, for me, pressure's off. These are the games I like. There's no pressure on us. We're not expected to win. Anyone that picks up the form book and looks at West Ham and Arsenal, everyone's going to expect Arsenal to win. There's no pressure on us. This is bonus points. If we get relegated, it's not because we lost at home to Arsenal. It's not because we only got a point at Old Trafford. It's because we only picked up 1 point against Middlesbrough, Southampton and Watford at home. Those are the games that you look at. I think that's why we're in trouble. These are bonus points. These are not our bread and butter. There's no pressure on us. So, well, am I confident? No. Am I optimistic? Yes, purely because it is just, I don't know. There's just something about West Ham, isn't there? But Tom, prediction time. I've got a feeling. I said to Gonzo a week or 2 ago, I get a vibe from you. I think I can guess your score prediction. Unfortunately, I'm getting a vibe from you too.
I mean, okay. I'm going to give you 2 predictions. I'm going to give you my head and my heart. Okay. My heart says the best result we can hope for is a draw. So I'm going to go a 2-2 draw. My heart, I can't see us winning, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't like to be negative, but my head's saying that Arsenal are going to score at least 4. So I think it could be a 4-1 to Arsenal.
4-1. Gonzo, are you going any better than that?
Yeah, I am actually going better than that, because I actually thought it would be 3-1 to Arsenal. I can't believe how pessimistic Tom is.
I'm agreeing with Tom's heart. I'm going 2-2. It was our most popular scoreline last season, and we've, correct me if I'm wrong, we've not had a 2-2 yet this season. Maybe we've had
I don't know, Jimmy. I've seen you wear a 2-2 on a couple of occasions this season.
Very good, very good. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back Saturday night with our review. It'll be up about 9-10 o'clock at night, hopefully. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this embedded on the website, it's youtube.com/Hammers Chat. Make sure you check us out on Twitter at Hammers_chat, on Facebook.com/Hammers Chat. All the links are in the description below. And also come onto our forum at hammerschat.com. Get involved, have your opinion read by hundreds of West Ham fans. Let us know if Tom's being pessimistic, if Gonzo's being realistic, and if I'm being optimistic. And we'll see you on Saturday night.